Okay, well, good evening, everyone. I want to thank everyone who is joining us tonight. You're in store for a great event. Susan Frederick will be sharing information on our core health and especially our new product, NAD Plus. And we're fortunate to have Susan share this information because she is a master researcher and has researched all over on information on this product and the whole system itself, and will share that with us now. So without further ado, Susan, would you, I know you'll share a little bit about yourself as well, but thank you so much for presenting this information tonight.
Sure, Kathy, I'm so happy to be able to share these things. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to health and wellness and nutraceuticals and natural things. I don't like to take drugs, and I don't have to. And I'm very grateful to not have to, because the natural things have kept me well. And this company is one of the most trustworthy, high integrity, researched companies that I've ever been connected with at all. So I'm very, very happy to share with you the information tonight. Now, I do want to admit that whenever something new comes into my purview, I'm a skeptic. I admit it, because there's too much stuff out there that's not true floating around. A lot of it is just to make money. It's not about reality. It's just about, what somebody wants to tell you that they want you to believe so that you'll make them some money. And so I'm a skeptic, so I have to go to reliable sources to get information. And I'm not big on marketing material for that reason, because so much marketing material is not as trustworthy as I need it to be. So I'm going to share two things with you tonight. I'm going to share with you a PowerPoint that I made out of the research that I've done, and I just abbreviated it, give you a thumbnail on the actual scientific research that I have done. And then I'm going to give you a taste of a presentation that you could give anybody yourself, So let's just kind of get on it. I'm going to share my screen with you. And let's see, I will want to do that too. And we'll get started. So we want to do PowerPoint here, slideshow, because the company has brought us a product that I had never heard of. And like I said, when I haven't heard of something, I'm like, okay, so let's talk about this. Understanding NAD, the most important molecule in your body. Now, one of the things I've discovered over the years is that in understanding anything, the only way to understand anything is to have a reference point with something you already understand. Because if somebody talks to you in language or concepts that you've never heard of and that you have no reference point to understand, you're not going to retain it, and certainly you're not even going to believe it. So I want to, as we start this, I want to give you 3 pictures in your mind so that you can understand where we're going. And this picture is dominoes falling. And when you think about your body and all the systems in your body that depend on other systems to function, if you've been around, even if you took high school biology, you know that all the systems in the body are connected. So if something goes wrong with one system, it can affect all the others and the dominoes begin to fall. Well, that's also true with aging. And for the last at least 50 to 100 years, bio researchers have been in search of what I call the first domino of aging. The dominoes in my metaphor here are all the systems of your body that have to be standing up and doing their job in order for you to be healthy, well, and vigorous and youthful and all of that. those dominoes have to be standing up. If one of those dominoes falls and starts to knock over the others, that's called aging. And so the biohackers and the scientists and the biological researchers have been in search of the first domino. What is it that starts the aging process? And that's what we're going to be discussing tonight. NAD is very likely one of the first dominoes to fall that causes aging. When NAD is depleted, that domino falls. The other picture I want you to have in your mind is picture yourself in a cabin in the woods, way up north where it's really cold, and the only energy source you have is this wood burning fire stove. And so you have got to keep that stove going in order for you to stay alive and well during a minus 40-degree winter. So what do you have to have that you cannot possibly run out of or you're going to die? That. You've got to have a stockpile of wood, and hopefully you're in the forest and you've already, supplied yourself with wood, because if you start running low on wood, or if you run out of wood, you're a goner. So NAD is like the stockpile of wood. It is what you have to have in order to keep all of your processes going strong. And the third picture I want you to have in your mind is this right here. Let's say that we all have a printer in our homes or offices, and you have an original copy and you put it in the printer and you want 1,000 copies of this original. That's how your body, your DNA works. Your DNA is the original you. It tells your body how to all the different parts, how to function in order for you to be you. And so the original makes copies, and it's called RNA, and then it goes out to all of the cells, and the cells copy themselves. Then they make copies of themselves. So you have copies of copies. Now, what happens on a printer if you just load it up and you just start printing? The first copy looks pretty perfect, and the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth, but by the 100th copy, it's going to look like this. You can't read it because what is happening? You're running out of ink. That's what's happening. NAD is like the ink in your copier. If you run out of copies, if you run out of ink, the copies are going to look weird and worse. And the instructions that the cells are supposed to operate by are going to not be legible. And that's going to be a problem. So how long has this NAD thing been around? When did they discover it? In 1906, NAD was discovered, and they've been pursuing it ever since, trying to find out what it does. And as recently as this year, there's more and more research being done on it. And I will send you the link on this so that you can research it for yourself. This is the geneticist who's most famous right now, Dr. David Sinclair. He's a professor of genetics at Harvard Medical School. And he is probably the foremost researcher on NAD. He is the one who said, if you ever run out of NAD, you're dead in 30 seconds. NAD, I practice saying this, so, be impressed, is nicotinamide. There we go. Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. So we call it NAD because that's too hard to say. And it's a coenzyme derived from nicotinamide riboside. In other words, NAD plus itself, you can't take it. Your body cannot metabolize it by itself. But nicotinamide riboside is a precursor. In other words, if you take that, which is that's the format that we have, if you take that, then the body can make NAD plus out of it. And it plays a role in regulating the pace of the aging process within the body. Typically, younger tissues boast higher NAD levels, which is why younger individuals often experience enhanced energy and physical performance and cognitive function and cellular regeneration, which we all want, which happens at younger ages and not so much in our older ages, because as one ages, NAD levels naturally diminish. However, there are natural methods for boosting the NAD levels, including oral supplementation, which we're going to talk about tonight, and IV therapy, which most people probably don't want. At what age do NAD levels decrease? Well, there's some discussion about that. Some people say it starts going down at 20. But what I was able to find is by the time we're 40 years old, your NAD levels throughout your body have dipped by 50%. That's a lot. And by age 60, look at, they've dipped by 80. So, you know, that's not, that's the dominoes are falling here. You know, you can see that the decline in middle age is significant. Now, let's talk about what that means. What happens with the depletion during aging? These things, and I'm going to teach you something that you didn't know, because I know I didn't know it. Decreased autophagy. Autophagy. Autophagy is, I had to look it up. What it is the body has a way of dispensing with, and recycling dead cells. Have you ever wondered? You know that cells replace themselves, right? Every cell has a job to do, and it does its job, and then it replaces itself. It makes a copy of itself. What happens to the original cell? Well, it dies. Well, what happens to a dead cell in your body? There's a process called autophagy, where your body actually dismembers the dead cell, takes it apart, and recycles it. If you didn't know that, you're not alone. There's a lot of people that don't know that. What happens if your autophagy decreases? That means there's a lot of debris left over from dead cells that they shouldn't be there, but you don't have enough energy for autophagy to be going on. And so one of the things that happens out of that is you have DNA damage. You've got all kind of stuff floating around that's not supposed to be there, because your body was supposed to clean it up, but it didn't have enough energy to do it. The other thing, increased mitochondrial dysfunction. Your mitochondria is your little power plant inside every single cell of your body that makes the energy for the cell to work. If the cell doesn't have enough energy, enough ink in its printer, enough wood in its stockpile to create the energy that it needs, it's not going to function properly, and your energy levels for the cells are going to go down. And one of the things that will happen is your metabolism will slow down and be dysregulated. So when your metabolism is dysregulated, your sleep is dysregulated, and also your ability to process nutrients from your food or from the pills you take, as in vitamin C, vitamin B, you know, all the vitamins that you usually take normally in capsules or pills. Your body can't absorb all those nutrients if the metabolism is dysregulated. So you're not getting enough nutrients. Now listen to this, watch this. NAD plus depletion has been associated with increased risk of what? Neurodegenerative diseases and infections. That means your brain, sweetheart, And I don't know about you, but I'm very, very in love with my brain. I want my brain to work as well as it possibly can. And I do not like the word neurodegenerative. I don't want my brain to degenerate. And nobody does. Everybody has had experience of some sort with loved ones who have dementia or memory problems, and it's not fun. It's painful for everyone, including them. So health span promoting activities in your lifestyle can increase your NAD plus. For example, NAD plus increases during periods of fasting. Have you heard of intermittent fasting? It's a big thing and it's very healthy. If you stop eating at 7 o'clock at night, don't eat anything else until like 10 or 11 o'clock the next day, that's an intermittent fast. And during that time, your NAD plus will increase. Also during regular exercise, it increases. So what we want is an increased lifespan, but we don't want to live if we're all sick and we can't remember anything. What we want to do is have a health span, an increased health span. And NAD plus, if you add ink to your printer, and you add wood to your stockpile, you're going to have energy like crazy, like you did when you were younger. So here are other symptoms of NAD deficiency: chronic low energy, noticeable muscle weakness, inflammation throughout your body, daily abdominal pain, brain fog, trouble thinking, memory recall, disrupted sleep cycles. Anybody identify with any of these? Sometimes your doctor says, when you tell them what's happening, sometimes they kind of chuckle and go, "Yep, that's what happens when you're 65 or whatever." But it doesn't have to be that way. NAD deficiency symptoms can affect every part of the human body, from brain cells to the immune system, and even age-associated weight gain. Remember when you were 20 and you could eat lots of kinds of things that you can't eat now, and you didn't even gain any weight? That's because your metabolism was at its height, doing what it should do. The dominoes had not started to fall. So little skeptical me says, okay, show me some human data. I want to know, have they done any studies? And have they done any clinical trials? Well, yes, they have. We've got all kinds of studies, and these two clinical trials that I picked out have shown nicotinamide riboside, which is what we have, that's what we have in a clinical application, increases NAD plus in white blood cells in a dose-dependent manner. What that means is the more you take, the better it gets. So look at this: an 8-week long study testing 120 adults ages 60 to 80, given a dose of 250 milligrams of NR, that's nicotinamide riboside, plus pterostilbene daily, showed increased whole blood NAD plus levels by 40% compared to baseline after 4 weeks. 40%. That's good. In 4 weeks, the first month, participants' NAD plus levels increased by 90% when they took a double dose. Positive impacts on blood pressure and liver health were also seen. So in our NAD plus that you can get from shop.com, the dosage is 250 milligrams a day. If you want to up it to 500 milligrams, that's up to you, but 250 will produce, or did produce in this clinical trial, 40% improvement in NAD levels. In this second study, tested 60 adults 55 to 79 years old, given 2 doses of 500 milligrams in our every day, increased NAD plus levels by 60%. So that's exciting. And then this is the last slide in my nerdy PowerPoint. This was in a very respected journal called Nature and it's on aging and mechanisms of disease. So look at that. Repeat dosage of nicotinamide, riboside, and pterostilbene. And by the way, that is what we have, nicotinamide, riboside, and pterostilbene together. Increases NAD plus levels in humans safely and sustainably, a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study, which, by the way, is the gold standard of all medical studies, is randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled. So if your doctor were to see this, he would go, okay, this is real. This is real. Now, I want to add this because what we're actually offering is a threesome of NAD plus and then a separate product of magnesium called Isotonics Magnesium. And the reason is magnesium is such an essential mineral. One of the most important minerals in all your body, plays a crucial role in multiple biological processes. And it complements the functions of NAD and supports NAD benefits in these ways. And you can see there, energy production, enzyme activation, cellular communication, stress reduction, anti-inflammatory effects. So both magnesium and NAD plus have anti-inflammatory properties, and most people have too much inflammation in their bodies. Magnesium may help modulate inflammatory responses, which can positively impact NAD functions, since inflammation can affect NAD and metabolism. And the other thing with our triple whammy is Isotonics OPC3. If you are new to us, if you are not familiar with what Market America does, then you may not understand or know what Isotonics is, and you need to learn about it. It's a delivery system where you don't have to take a pill. Some things you can do this with, some things you can't, but the most advanced delivery system is isotonic. And OPC3 is an antioxidant that is so famous that it has made our company famous. I understand that we sell over $6 million a week of this one product alone, Isotonics OPC3. And if you look at all the things it does, you'll understand why people who start taking OPC3 say they would never, ever, ever, ever not take it. It's the slogan is, if you breathe, you need OPC3. So we have combined these three things, magnesium, OPC3, and the new NAD plus, all in one package. And we call it the Core 3 Health, because it gets to the core of aging and starts turning the clock back. So that is my nerd presentation. And now what I want to do, if I can figure out how to do this, is yes, I'll save that. I want to take you here. This is what I call the every person presentation. It's not for nerds. If a nerd saw this, they'd be like, yeah, where is the science? So I wanted to start with the science before I start being personal with you, because this is real. This is not just a marketing ploy. And we really do hope, some of my colleagues put this together, and I appreciate it so much, because it's a lot of work to put something like this together to share with people. But we hope that today will be the start of something new in your life. I mean, it's January 2024. And what we want to see for you and for all of us is the rediscovering of our youth and vitality. And so we're introducing this Core 3 health system to do three things: restore because one of the things I discovered is that DNA can be rebuilt. It can be fixed when it's broken. I did not know that DNA can be repaired, but it can. And NAD plus is part of that repair process. Restore, rebuild, and reset your health. And we always say, whatever we have to say is not evaluated by the FDA, because the FDA evaluates drugs, and nothing we have is a drug. What we have is food and food derivatives, nutrients, not drugs. So if somebody says, has this been approved by the FDA? No, they don't approve what, they don't approve or disapprove what we do, because we don't do drugs. All right. We don't do drugs. But let's make this personal. If you could change one thing, just one thing about your health today, just think about this. What would that be? Don't talk back to me because we don't have time, but but just think about it, and then think about this on a scale of 1 to 10. How would you personally rate the quality of your current health? How about on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your current energy level? We have, like, if you were sharing this with somebody else, and we can actually send this to you, a link, so that you can look at it and share it with somebody else if you feel like it. But there's a health survey right here, which I won't click on because we don't have time to go through it. But it's very enlightening to share just for yourself, and also to share with other people that you care about, because more people than you realize have health issues they'd really like to solve if they knew how. And they'd really like to solve it without pharmaceuticals if they knew how. So the question is, do you think you could be possibly missing some special nutrients that might be causing you to feel out of balance? Because as we share this information, think about not only yourself, but maybe other people you care about who might be interested in learning about this. Because I wrote a book a few years ago, and a lot of people don't know I did this, but I wrote a book called Wellness Power, A Consumer Revolution. And the reason I wrote it is because consumers are going to change the landscape of wellness. Doctors aren't going to. We are. Because doctors are taught pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceutical companies own all the medical schools. And so guess what they teach? They teach big pharma stuff. They don't teach nutrition. They don't teach nutraceuticals. They don't. So your doctor, don't blame him, because he went to medical school and they don't teach it there. So, so we find out about it. We teach each other. Then we go to the doctor and we say, hey, guess what? That thing I had, it cleared up. They go, oh, really? It cleared up all by itself? Well, I took a certain nutritional thing and it cleared up. You did? What'd you take? We wind up educating them by stuff that we know that they didn't. So let's attempt to answer some important questions and let you in on an incredible secret that not many people know about. Have you heard about NAD+? Yes, you have, because you just were here, right? And I just told you all the nerdy stuff. But NAD+ is critical. It's a powerhouse coenzyme, and it's found in every single cell in your entire body. And then I love these visuals. If you can see this, I'm not going to necessarily read all of them, but the importance of NAD to the body, these are all the ways, all the different functions that NAD influences. And we've talked about most of them already. So as you can see, NAD+ is vital. It's involved in the health and function of virtually every organ and every tissue system in your whole body. Let's look at this. What is NAD used for? Brain health, inflammation, energy production. Oh, fuel for sirtuins. I learned about that, and I'm not going to teach you that tonight, but I will say this. Sirtuins are called longevity genes. Longevity genes. In other words,
Okay, go do it because
sirtuins will help determine how long you live. So that they're worth studying if you ever get interested. It's an enzyme enhancer, genomic activity. That means your DNA. It affects your DNA so that your DNA is protected and repaired. Promotes cellular health, supports insulin control. It's a big deal. NAD is the fuel for critical cell maintenance and repair of DNA enzymes and healthy cell function to protect it from disease. It turns nutrients into energy that drives crucial metabolic processes by regulating cellular function. Now, according to David Sinclair, and he's been in Time magazine at least 3 times that I found, he's the co-director of the biology of aging at Harvard Medical School, said NAD is one of the most important molecules for life to exist, and without it, you're dead in 30 seconds. So this is just another visual with all the different things that it affects, all the benefits. I don't know what you relate to most, but I would look at this if I were you and just kind of see what you relate to most. Like for me, mental clarity is super important. Immune system, I just don't want to get sick. I'm sorry, I just want to stay well. And that repairing DNA, that just impressed the heck out of me. How about improved blood flow? Because as you get older, one of the things that happens is typically your arteries and your blood flow slows down. Your arteries get a little bit stiffer and not as flexible. But we can turn back the clock on that. Children are born with abundant energy. They're always on the go, and that's because they have the highest NAD levels. Did you know that by the time you're 20, that's what he says here, you've already lost 50% of your NAD plus, and every 20 years, you lose 50% more. This is a chart that shows, sadly, what happens over time. You can see you start out, look at what you got. And then it starts going down, going down, going down. And look what happens underneath. Yep, wheelchair time. The primary reason for aging is twofold. First, as the body ages, it produces less NAD. Second, damage from inflammation, oxidative stress, and malfunctioning DNA depletes NAD from the body. So when it's depleted, then inflammation increases, oxidative stress increases, DNA malfunctions, which then continues to deplete NAD further. So do you see the vicious cycle there? We can stop it. Why haven't most people heard about this? That's because it was primarily and exclusively affordable for the rich and famous. I just told Kathy a few minutes ago that I just Googled what celebrities have done NAD therapy. And I saw I saw who it was. You can Google it yourself. There are several. But most of them took it through IV, which is very expensive. What I researched was like you do 4 IV therapy sessions for like $2,000. So it's about $500 a session. But they don't care. They have that kind of money. But what about us? How can an average person afford, IV therapy with NAD? And, I don't know about you, but I don't like needles. So, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about it? Let me show this here. Hang on a second. I'm going to let somebody talk for a minute and a half.
And it's a coenzyme that is required by all our cells.
So NAD, or what we see as NAD plus, has been talked about a lot lately. It's been around for a long time, but it's actually becoming more and more popular. And the term NAD is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, and it's a coenzyme that is required by all our cells. So in your cell, you have little mitochondria, which you can think of as little power plants or energy creators. And for them to create the energy that they create, they need NAD. And what happens over time is NAD will go down. It can go down from drugs, alcohol, medications that you take. Age is a huge one, illness, stress. So those are things that will knock down NAD levels, which then essentially means you won't produce as much energy. What we're finding is that if you supplement with NAD, you essentially tell the cells to stay young, don't die. So its anti-aging properties are huge and well studied. And then it even shows that it causes some improvement in neurocognitive function or clarity. So people that use it will feel like they're clearer thinking, and definitely over time believe that maybe it actually may help with neurocognitive decline or kind of decline with your clarity. The other thing that it's starting to be used for too is athletic performance. So there are athletes that we use it on who will take it before an event within a day or so, and it seems as though it improves performance, stamina, endurance. So those are kind of three big areas. We're also starting to see a little bit of use of it for anxiety and depression, and have a few clients using it for that. But long story short, think about it as my NAD levels go down as I get older, or as I do some of those things we talked about, and we can supplement that and get those little energy machines working.
Okay. And let's see, how do I get back to where I was? There we go. All right. So what do we do if you can't afford the IV therapy? If you can, more power to you. But there's an option, and that's the Core 3 Health. The latest research actually shows that 90% of Americans are deficient in essential nutrients. Essential nutrients at the core. You're missing at the core. And I've mentioned isotonics. Let me show you that right here.
Isotonics are some of the most innovative nutritional supplements available today. The ingredients in isotonics products are delivered in an isotonic form, which has the same carbohydrate and electrolyte concentration as your body's own fluids. These cutting-edge supplements reduce the time it takes for nutrients to reach the bloodstream, lessens nutrient loss, and may minimize upset stomach. Because isotonics products are powders, each serving fully delivers its nutrient value without the fillers, binders, coatings, and lubricants common in hard-to-swallow tablets and capsules. And isotonic supplements taste great. Isotonics, the world's most advanced nutraceuticals.
Whoop. Whoop, where did my guy thing go? Okay, hang on. Okay, so basically we're making this affordable for everyone. This is one of the last things. Says, imagine over the next year with NAD plus, you could turn back your own biological clock and look and feel 20 years younger. Previously, this was only available for the rich and famous, but now it is affordable to everyone. So I'm stopping, and what I want to say to you, if you're new, you probably don't know this, but those three products, if you buy them separately, they're $130. But the company wants people to actually embrace this, and they're running a special where you can get all three products, NAD and OPC3 and magnesium, for $100, flat $100. And not only that, but if you are one of our customers, you can go to shop.com. Oh, I want to show you that before we leave, how to get it. but you can also check with the person who invited you. They can show you how to get it. But if you share it with someone else,
Okay.
because we're trying to get the word out, if you share it with someone else and they want to try it too, just as a customer to another customer, then the company rewards you $25 just for sharing it with somebody and helping somebody else. So that would mean that basically you got it for all three products for $75, which is like shocking, you know. And if you helped four people, yours would basically be free because 25 times 4 is $100, and that's all yours is. So we're really doing all we can to get this word out, to get people healthier. We've seen people suffer, and we don't need to do that. We need to see people get weller and their health span get stronger over time. I do want to show you real quick before we have any questions where to get it. Hang on again, and I will share my screen. Well, yeah, there it is. I do want to show you shop.com and where to find it. So if you'll just go to Chrome is what I use, and shop.com is one of my saved favorites. And right on the very front page of shop.com, you see the Core 3 Health System right there. And you can click buy now if you want to. You want to make sure whose shop.com site you're on. This is mine. So whoever invited you has their own shop.com site. You want to make sure you're on the right place, in the right place. But then you put in, here's what I want you to know. You put in NAD in the search, and I want you to go directly to NAD and scroll down. You'll see primary benefits, product classifications, like a 30-second video. But this is what I want you to see right here. What makes this product unique? I actually sent it out to those of you who are on my team. I sent it out to you earlier and said, I want you to read this before you even come tonight. It's so good. This was created by Dr. Deidre Mason, and she's amazing. But if you're taking, and I said this earlier, if you're taking any kind of medication at all and you think that your doctor needs to approve what you're taking, this is what he would need to see. And you can send him this link, him or her, and I'll show you how to do that. But this, when I read this, I did all this research for hours and hours and hours and hours, and then I came back and read this. I should have read it first, you know, because it was like, oh my gosh, everything I studied was in a nutshell here, and even a few more things. So if you scroll down all the way to the bottom of the page, there's testimonials right there. You know, people are already trying it and having good experience. But if you scroll all the way to the bottom where you can't scroll anymore, it says link to this page and tell all your friends. You can copy that link right there and send it to your doctor or whoever you want to send it to. So, and as a customer, when you order it yourself, you will get a special link that you can share with your friends, and that'll track it back to you so that the $25 that the company promised will know where to go. It goes to you, you know, from your referral. So what I want to do now is, Carol, I'm going to pester you for a minute because you've already been having some experience with this NAD product. I know you are already in love with OPC3 and it has changed your life already. But talk to us about what experience you've had lately with this new product.
Well, I've been on it for about 6 weeks, and I mean, most of you that know me know that I have a relatively high energy level anyway, most of the time, but undoubtedly it's higher. And I got proof of it last Saturday night when my church had a concert. And it was soul music. It was wonderful. It was really, really high energy music. And it was for a couple of hours. And so for the first 15 minutes, I kind of sat there watching it. Everything was moving, because I couldn't help myself. And all of a sudden I got up and just started dancing. Everybody was dancing. It wasn't a partner thing or anything. Everybody just started moving. And I'll tell you, for an hour and a half, I was jumping up and down. I was going like this. I mean, I could not believe it. I kept thinking, what is happening to me? This is unbelievable. That's my testimonial. And I go around now saying, I have never in my entire 82 years felt healthier than I do right now.
That's
And
fantastic.
where's it going to go? Can you imagine if I take this for 3 years?
I don't know what we're going to do with you.
Skydiving up.
You do
That's
look
awesome.
younger than a year ago, or younger than a week ago, actually.
Yes, we can tell the difference. I can see the difference.
Yeah, Susan said she can even hear in the way I talk. I just can't help it. I just feel this energy just projecting out of my body. I don't know any other way to say it.
It's awesome. That's so good.
All right.
All right. Anybody else want to share? It's fairly new, so I don't know who's been taking it long enough to.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
I think Pam and I said it at the same time.
Linda.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's been a week, maybe more. I like what Carol said is she can't really explain it. And that is the best way to explain it, is that I can't really explain it. Is the energy and clarity. Now, I've been taking Market America products. Those of you who know me know that I have Lyme disease, and the OPC3 has helped support my immune system and with inflammation and all that kind of stuff. But with keeping inflammation at bay, I should say. But the clarity that I have found is, I think that's the best part of this, is the clarity and the energy. I find I do need to take it around noon or so. Around noon or before, that was the most recommended time to take it. I'm still not sleeping great sometimes, but I think that's a hormonal thing. But I believe that the longer I take this, the more even that's going to take care of itself. I'm taking the whole regimen with the magnesium and the OPC3 and everything. But I can tell you, just because the only thing that's different in my world, because I've been taking magnesium and OPC3, the NAD plus is the only thing that's different. And I really can tell a difference. And it's not just in my head, as they say, I know my body enough to go, that is different. The clarity, even the emotional stability, if I can notice that too, Carol, just I'm like not going on a roller coaster as much, you know.
I've never felt happier.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So thank you, Susan, for your great presentation. It's nice to see that there's science backing up the way I feel.
Yes. Excellent. So Pam,
Thank
you want
you.
to share?
Linda.
Well, I think sometimes I'm crazy because when I first started taking isotonics, the first time I took them, I felt a lot different. And the first time I took this NAD, I felt it take the edge off of tiredness or whatever I've been through. It's been kind of a madhouse, but it took the edge off of that. And it took, I can't tell you whether it's energy or a little sadness off of it. But another weird thing happened on the way to the zoo. I went to taking my astaxanthin again. Ricky and I both did, and we think our TV improved. So I guess it's our eyes. He said, our TV just looks so pretty. Look at this. So with the astaxanthin and the help of the NAD, things are a little better. And it's only been a week, maybe. And I could tell that I felt different. And I started, Ricky says I'm taking over his jobs because he started taking over a lot of my jobs, which, yeah.
Excellent.
Glad. But, and I start helping him, like if he's
Okay, anybody else want to chime in?
I guess I've taken it for a month. I mean, I was on it about a month. And what I can say about it is I noticed quite a difference when I ran out of it.
Really?
It was when I ran out of it that I thought, man, why am I so tired today? And why am I not sleeping as well? And yeah, that's what I noticed is I slept better and I had sustained energy. That's what I liked about it.
Excellent.
And my clarity, I'm not sure yet, but I gotta think about that.
Jim, I like that the way you said sustained energy.
Mm,
That's right, Carol. That's an interesting thing, like throughout the day, sustained, that I'm not used to, you
Yeah.
know.
that's
I'm
good.
That's
like,
Yeah, I like that. Sustained energy. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah, I
And
was on
it's
it. I've been
true.
on it about 6 weeks also and felt an increase in energy. And now that you mention that, Linda, more clarity in my
mhm.
thinking. And I felt I had a deeper night's sleep when I slept. I saw a difference there as well, because sometimes I would struggle with sleep. So I saw a difference there. And what I kept thinking, like everyone else said, is this is a new product. We've only been on it for a
Mhm.
max, two
Short
of
on
us for like 6 weeks.
Mm,
And I kept thinking
Mhm.
the same thing. How is this going to be after taking it for 3 months, 6 months, and this builds up in our system?
mhm.
Um, you know, COVID kind of hit my immune system. I feel like this is going to replenish that. Oh, we're just moving in the right direction.
Right.
Mhm.
Can I say something about the sleep? I just realized when you said that, Kathy, I wonder if I'm just not requiring as much sleep.
Mm, that,
Because, because I'm waking up really early and everything, or just it only happened last night. I mean, the night before I slept really well. So, it's going back and forth, but even when I don't sleep as long, come to think of it, I'm sleeping better when I do sleep. I didn't think
Yeah.
about that. So thank you. Because even though I had been taking the magnesium anyway, there's something going on here. So thank you for saying that, Kathy.
And thank you, Susan, for a great presentation.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for all your research, which backs all the information. Again, if you're on here and you want to see those ingredients or order the product, make sure if you're not already a preferred customer, you check with the person who invited you on and they'll send you a link to their site so you could gather the information as well. And like Susan said, if you want to share it with someone else, once you order that bundle, then you will get a link to be able to send to friends. Most people want to wait. I know for myself, before I started talking about it to other people, I wanted to feel the benefit. And once you feel the benefit, we just naturally want to help other people. And then you'll have a link to be able to do that. And there's a VIF digital wallet right on your shop.com site that you're going to go to, and that money will show up in your VIF digital wallet. That $25 back to you. So,
Francine, did
anyone
you?
have any questions? Sorry.
Did have something to say. I found, and this is interesting, and just recently, I've been using it for probably about a week and a half now, and a lot of my sun damaged skin is lightening now. And as I researched it, like you, Susan, they talked about, with helping sun damage and precancerous sun lesions. And I was actually quite shocked when I saw that, because the mental clarity, everything that you all said, I feel as well. But I was really quite shocked when I was putting my makeup on the other day and I'm looking like, oh my gosh, that spot is almost gone. And I actually sent this information to my dermatologist as well, for her to take a look at it. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Wonderful.
That's awesome
yeah.
for
Well, the
sharing.
celebrities like that part too. If you do a little
Mm.
research on celebrities and NAD, um, they like that skin
Mhm.
part. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's been a treat, and I am going to send to Kathy the different links that I researched in case you want to, take a look. It's very impressive. And as you read it and understand it, your confidence grows. And then as you experience it yourself, that's what's going to make a difference for other people. You know, you're not going to, you're not going to share science links with other people because they're not going to read it, but they want to know how it affects you.
Mhm, mhm.
As we enjoy the benefits, it's only responsible, you know, it's only loving to let other people know that it's available. So we're gonna refill our ink jet, you know, printer.
That was a great visual.
Wonderful.
That was
Yeah.
a great visual.
Really
Great.
was.
I think
It
so.
was.
And
Great
the wood,
analogy.
and the
Yeah.
wood
Great
in the
analogy. Loved
stove,
it.
keep adding wood. Yes, I
Yeah.
love that.
Put the wood in your fire and
Great
the
job.
ink in your printer, and we'll find the first domino and change everything. Okay. All
Let's
right.
do it.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Susan.
Love
Thanks,
you.
Thank
everyone,
you.
for
Thanks,
joining us.
everyone.
Thanks, Susan.
Thanks for
Jill.
great
Yeah.
discussion.
Thank you,
Good to see you,
Susan.
Raleigh.
Great
Be a
job.
Bye.
Thank you,
Susan,
Kathy.
Great
Thank you,
job.
Susan.
Bye. Great to
Bye.
see you,
Thank you.
Lorena. Bye. Bye, Jerry.
Bye,
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Kathy.
Have a great night. Good to see you, Raleigh.
God
Bye.
bless you.